So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Jackson from GoldFlame.
and we're gonna ask them some questions today about their newest release, the Burnout Generation Continued. Congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel
Thank
about
you.
the response to it so far?
It's a lot more than I thought it would be, which it's not like a lot in general, but like there was a lot of people be like, "Oh, fuck, I'm gonna miss you, GoldFlame," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
Forgot
It's
you
like,
were
oh yeah, I
killing the
forgot.
band.
Like, yeah, I forgot that we're like ending this. So like, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
So is there any meaning
Did you even catch what she said?
No.
Is there any meaning behind the album name or the cover art?
The cover art there was, not really like anymore. I mean, there's like still is. It's just like kind of a cool picture,
Yeah,
and it was like from like the same time period as the Burnout Generation cover. That's kind of like the meaning of it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
It's just continued. It's just like another picture from that.
Yeah.
The name is just I wanted to do like a deluxe edition, and then I was talking to Tom, and we did a deluxe edition for the Deep End, which you can't find anymore for this reason. And they're like, fucking deluxe editions are for fucking bands on Interscope or whatever the fuck, or like just deluxe editions are for fucking 2005 or something. I don't know. I like them, but like I felt like the stuff on here kind of needed a chance to like shine on its own. So
Definitely.
You also made a whole album out of B-sides, so you can't just kind of throw that on the back end of an album and expect people to give a shit.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's 13. Fucking first album 13, Burnout Generation 13, this one 13. So
Gotta keep it continuous.
yeah.
Yep.
Continued.
Ha! So, can you tell me a little bit about your writing process for the couple of new songs on this album?
Yeah. Those were like at the beginning of May. I was like, fuck, we need to do that. And I was like, yeah. I need to look more emo. At the beginning of May, we were like, fuck, we need to do that. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, huh, what should I do? And then I started making the Word and Wondering Lilac Queen thing. And then Kane from Online Friends was like, oh, so it's just going to be reverb slowed down. And so I was like, fuck, I need to add 80s drums to it. And which it wasn't slowed down, just reverb, but fucking if it sounded like that, I was like, I need to whip myself into gear. And then the pop punk version of the acoustic song, I was just like, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just like did that. And then the emo one with Riley, that one was kind of interesting because that was the first time Shay had ever played guitar on a GoldFlame song.
Wow.
And so they did all the guitar parts except for like the little twinkly lead in the verse. That's me. But like everything else guitar wise is Shay.
Oh.
And that was also the first GoldFlame song since 2014 to be recorded completely at a different studio and not just my house. We did that at Dead Man's Blade, which is run by the dude from Posture and the Grizzly, which is like our good friends. So yeah, so that's the new songs. And for the features, I just like texted some of my friends. I was like, hey, you want to like sing on a thing? And they're like, okay.
Completely stole one of our questions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So can you tell me where your headspace was at while you were putting together this album?
Oh, it's kind of all over the place. It was just like, fuck, I'm like ending my band that I've had since I was 9. Fuck. And yeah, it was just like really weird. And I was like, fuck, this has to be like kind of good. And I don't know. It was just kind of go out with a bang kind of headspace to be in. Like one last fucking
Hurrah.
Yeah.
One less your mother.
One less your fucking mother.
So how'd you pick which demos to release on the album and like which songs to reimagine?
The demos, I actually like thought about this for a really long time. There was a couple choices for different demos to put on, and I kind of chose like the biggest song from the album, Late Bloomer, the one which I thought had the best sounding demo, which was Porter Street Bridge, and my favorite song on the album, Hard to Love, and which Hard to Love has some like structural and lyrical differences on the demo. So that's also why. And also the harmonies in the chorus of Hard to Love are the same recordings that are on the demo, because I was like, this is fucking good, I'll just carry it over.
Fair enough.
So it's the exact same like ooh, like that shit in the fucking chorus. It's the same one in the demo. So yeah, the fucking Late Bloomer demo is horrible. But like it's bad. That was recorded January 2nd, 2019, and I was still very much in like the deep end era of my like singing style. And so it's very like fucking, yeah, it's not fucking good at all, but it's the biggest song, so it's like fucking had to do it.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
And how'd you pick which songs to reimagine?
Oh yeah. It just kind of like Worried and Wondering was an obvious one for like a little fucking dance pop remix. And the other ones, I was gonna do like a metalcore version of Things Are Different Now.
That would have banged so
That would
hard.
have been good.
I know, but we decided to save the metalcore for whatever's
Whatever's coming next.
my next band is.
Okay.
Interesting.
No, so wink wink.
What? I didn't do that. So the pop punk version of Someday We're Gonna Miss This was just like, what is the like farthest we can get away from the original version? And so I was like, I'm good at making pop punk songs, so I'll just fucking make another one and put those lyrics over it. And then it all seems so scripted. I kind of thought that because that's like the only song that is completely all the way through in 3/4, and so I was like, that could lend itself nicely to a little twinkly fucking. So I was like, hey Shay, write some fucking twinklies, and they're like, okay.
All right.
And then so we did it, and that song, I went into the drum room with a click track, and I fucking just did it, and then we wrote the guitar parts over it, like just fucking started with drums, and then we wrote everything over that. So yeah, your fucking mother.
So true.
Awesome.
So true.
Right. So as we mentioned before, you kind of already stole this question, but I'm still going to ask it so you can go a bit more in depth if you want. You have a couple iconic features on this record. Can you tell us about the process of working with everybody?
Yeah, of course. I'll start like in order. The first one, Blue Deputy.
Yeah.
We've had that Teenage Dirtbag cover like recorded, like that was like part of like the Burnout Generation sessions, like for the album. Like, and we were gonna have one of my friends do vocals on it, and she just like never ended up like doing it. Like no like fault of hers, it just like never ended up happening.
Oh.
And then I was like, I should get one of my friends in the scene to do it. And then in like September, I was like, hey, Andrew Deputy, you want to fucking do some vocals? And they're like, okay.
All right.
And so I sent them the thing. And then I think we like revisited it in like November. And I was like, hey, you want to fucking do that thing? And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. So they did. And then like the next day, they sent me like the vocals that you hear on the thing. And I was like, oh, nice.
Okay.
And then I just kind of sat on it. Actually, I sent it to Brody, and they were like, you should add the little synth thing that's like after the third line that goes, damn it. It's like, it's missing that. And so I was like, you're right. And so I can thank Brody for me adding that in.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Brody.
Thanks, bros. So, oh yeah,
Yeah, there are more.
there's more. There's like a couple more.
Yeah.
Tommy Hart, that one, that song was for a compilation. That's why it sounds like so different from everything else, because it was put out in like March last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it was part of the same session, so it's kind of like the same thing, whatever. But I've been friends with Tommy for like almost like 5 years now. So like we go way back, and I know he does like some little screamies. So I was like, hey, you want to do some fucking screamies? And he was like, sure. And yeah, and now that was before Broken Vow. So then fucking Broken Vow blew up, and it's fucking, you know, they're on fucking Katy Perry's label and stuff and whatever.
God damn.
Yeah.
You know. Then Cinema Stare, we go way back with Cinema Stare. I like fucking whenever I go to the studio, like those guys are usually there, and we like hang out. And their old singer was not the biggest fan of me, and I don't know why.
Oh.
To like say the least, but I've heard some of the things he said about me. But they kicked him out, and their new singer is great, and their new singer is who you hear on Someday We're Gonna Miss This. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, so Quinn's great. I was just like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And she was like, yeah. And she just like sent me like a take, and I was like, yeah, good, okay, this works.
Cool.
So yeah. And Lilac Queen, I just texted Lily. I was like, hey, do you want to fucking sing a verse on a thing? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And they just like, they texted me like the take, and they're like, hey, does this work? Like I can like do it again, like cleaner. And I was like, no, this is like perfect. And that's what you fucking hear on the thing. And same with Riley. I was just like, hey, do you want to fucking sing on a thing? And Ryan was like, yeah, sure. And just like first take, like I had no notes, like it was good. So
plenty of just sing on this thing, and they go, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's great first take.
Yeah, it's like you were assembling the Avengers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't even think it was like that big of a deal at the time, because like the only person I like didn't have in my contacts already was Riley, and I was just like, we need an emo feature. And Riley was like the first band that came to mind, because that dude's got kind of a high voice. And I actually didn't know that Riley is like one of Shay's like favorite bands. I was just like, yeah, so it's just like, hey, Riley, you want to do the thing? Because I don't really like listen to emo music, but like I know Riley, so I was like, hey, you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, sure. And she was like, yo, my god, what the god? And I was like,
Riley?
oh, okay. I didn't know that was a big deal. Like they're a good band, but like I didn't know they were like famous. Fucking Ghostbusters famous. So yeah,
I mean,
so
you
that's
did,
the story behind that.
You did get like a bunch of bands that are like blowing up within the scene. Like when you were like doing the features with them, they were like not nearly as big as they are now. But you put this out, and it's like, holy shit, these bands are a lot bigger now.
Now they're getting signed because of me.
It's all because of
they
Jackson.
all owe it to you.
They all owe it
exactly.
To you. So this question should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less.
Start somewhere else. If you want to get into us, fucking start with like the Burnout Generation or something, not this one. If the first song you're gonna hear by me is one-liners, the one fucking original song that got cut, like I'm so sorry.
It got cut for a reason.
It got cut for a reason. Like, yeah, it's not good, but it was the one original B-side that we had, so we're like, fucking, it's fast. Put it out.
Fair enough.
Cool. All right.
Fair enough. But I will say, the last song on this album is like probably like the most important GoldFlame song, and I feel like it's a very appropriate like last thing to go out on. So if you want to start with something that's important but sounds like literally nothing else we've ever done, then fucking start with Reprise 2, dog.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to invoke in your listeners?
Impending doom.
Absolute sadness.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like for people to kind of think of it as like end of an era for now. But like, you know, like a nice end to it, not just like fuck you or out, dog. Like kind of like, hey, here's a thing, you know.
We'll be back soon.
Until next time.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Since all of these songs are kind of just, you know, reimaginings or demos, I'll skip the first part of the question. Just ask you, which one is your favorite off of this?
Fucking Reprise 2, man. That one. Ooh, that one is the hidden track on like the CD of the Burnout Generation.
I still haven't listened to my CD.
Yeah, yo motherfucker.
Come on, Shane.
But that one, like, that was done like summer 2019, so like way before like we even started recording the Burnout Generation. But it's like still, and you can tell it's like way before because it has a different track list because everything was supposed to go in order, but it's like Blood is third, so like instead of sixth. So, but I didn't like want to make any changes to it, so it was just like fucking sounds good as it is.
Fair enough.
And yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this record for the first time? Do you think they should turn off the lights, put on some headphones, just listen to it in the dark? Do you think they should go on a road trip to listen to it with friends? What's your go-to for this?
I think this is going to be probably like the shortest night out of your life. Like 48 minutes. Like you like one-liners is when you fucking put in your fucking keys in your car and start fucking speeding out of your fucking street.
Yeah. And
then like Reprise 2 is like your fucking friends ask you to leave because you're fucking being annoying and you're like, fuck, dude. Fuck, dude. Shit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So basically like it's a night out that you get kicked out of and you have to go home.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And like the demos part is like when you're like getting in like the argument with your friends. It's like, yo, what the fuck? And you're like, dude, you're being like totally fucking chug right now, dog. And like,
wait, whoa, what?
You're being fucking chug as fuck. And like,
I don't go out enough.
Definition?
I don't fucking know.
Origin of the word?
No clue. Me. That's the origin.
Use that in a sentence.
Right. You're being fucking chug as fuck, dog. That's a sentence. And then like Reprise like that.
Yeah.
Like that part is like when you like in your car and like, fuck, I'm fucking chug the right. Like,
stop using that word. Stop.
Chug.
Spell that.
Like Chattanooga, but like chug with no
Yeah.
So proud. Just
thought out yourself.
Dude, I'm the fucking prophecies fulfilled, dog.
So true.
Yeah.
So picture this: you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Fucking brisk. Get some fucking bisque, dude. And I'll get some fucking Pop-Tarts.
All right.
what flavor?
Blueberry. I'll fuck up some bluebies.
So true.
Good choice.
Valid. So valid.
So as you've mentioned before, GoldFlame is kind of dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
I don't know.
And take a nice break.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take such a huge break. We're not gonna do anything.
Never coming back
at all.
Yeah.
Never coming back under a new name.
Nope.
Yep.
I would never do that.
No,
why would you do such a thing?
Yeah, why the fuck would I do that? Definitely not a new EP in September and a new album next year.
Okay,
right.
That would be really stupid if you did.
That would be really
suck.
fucking homophobic, honestly. To be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would never. That's definitely not what's gonna happen. So.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're definitely not in the studio right now with like 25 new songs. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay,
No.
only 25. Yeah.
That's
kinda lame.
pathetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
you could do better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we're not doing that.
Okay,
There you
good.
go.
I was worried. I was really worried.
I do have one last question before we depart. Wasn't this supposed to be a series of EPs? What the fuck happened there? Because like
I fucking heard you talk about this on fucking
because
podcast.
You said
like,
it.
I'm gonna ask them what happened to the EP.
You say shit in every single interview that doesn't come to fruition. Every single time we do an interview. So
I'm sorry. I'm so cool and famous and rich. Fucking Shane Dawson.
What
God.
happened there? Why isn't there a series of EPs?
I was just like. I was just like, hey, do you want to fucking make this into an album instead? And like CJ was like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That was it.
Yeah.
I kind of figured that was kind of like what the conversation
We finished
was.
it fucking so late. Like, it was finished, I think, like a couple days before Word and Wondering with Lily came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the last time with Volume 1, we had it done like at the beginning of January and like submitted. And like, this was like fucking gotten it like a little super fucking late. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't really have like time to fucking like change any of our plans to like make it an EP again, and also because we wanted to put out Reprise 2 on it and make it 13. So
fair enough.
Yeah, welcome on there.
All right.
Yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I guess the fucking Burnout Generation Continued.
And stay tuned,
You know?
maybe.
And me and Jay, our old bass player, have a new band coming soon called Prince Dork. So fucking follow that shit.
Thank you for now. This has been Jackson from GoldFlame, and We're the Good Noise podcast.